Recently, I platinumed Sonic and SEGA All-Stars Racing, which was a lot of fun and very nostalgic for me. But in 2012, they made a sequel to the game, and it's even better. In this video, I will be getting the Platinum Trophy for
Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed.
Nostalgia at its finest. This game is a complete overhaul of the first game. From the driving, to the power-ups, to the activities, anything you could think of from the first game is either gone or completely changed. They also dropped Sega from the title due to characters such as Wreck-It Ralph and Danica Patrick being in this game, and an extra fact, other platforms have even more characters. I mean, just look at the characters PC has. And of course, the standout in the title, Transformed. During events, you can find these blue rings, and they'll transform your car into either a boat or an aircraft, making for some insane races. This is cool and all, but you know the title of the video. The first game was rated a 3 out of 10 in difficulty, but this game jumps all the way to an 8 out of 10. You'll find out why this game is rated so highly soon, but for now, let's go over Step 1, World Tour. World Tour is a more fleshed out version of the first game's missions, which were just mostly easy challenges. The World Tour takes you through multiple worlds, each with events scattered throughout. Completing an event will earn you stars, and you get more stars depending on the difficulty you choose. I will need to earn all 232 stars for the trophy All-Stars. We start on Sunshine Coast, and the first event is a race. I decided to do it on hard since I needed all those stars, and I decided to use my GOAT,
Metal Sonic.
This game also allows you to change your character's stats with mods, and I went with his balance mod.
3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, I have not played this in so long, bro. Okay, so I gotta try to do this. So... Oh, what? I ran into that? Really, bro? Move, bro. If we're gonna use that, we definitely want to get rid of them at the start. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go, here we go. Let's go. All right. Are you serious, bro? I used to kind of be good at dodging those two. Or not dodging, but dealing with that. Okay, third place. Yeah, hard difficulty. Oh, no.
Event failed.
What'd you say well done for then, bro? Why'd you say well done? I failed, bro.
Nice work. Third place.
So of course, I had to run it back. This time I played a lot better and used my power-ups pretty well, so I was able to win and earn 2 trophies. Scud Racer, first trophy. I don't know what that's for. Oh, finish first in a race without getting hit by weapons. Oh, and I got another trophy. Heart Shop. For the next event, I decided to use Sonic as I needed to level up characters to upgrade my license, but Metal Sonic is maxed out by default, so there was no reason to use him. At the start of the race, I did a 15-second drift as Sonic, which earned me a trophy, and then I just continued the race as normal. The other racers are pretty aggressive with their power-ups, so I got screwed up multiple times, but I caused this to happen. Oh my... Nah, restart. That's just bad. That was bad. I thought it was gonna be water because I saw water under there. Let's try this again. Okay. I'm in 4th, bro. Why did that hit me? Bro, no, what the freak? Okay, bro, shut up. I'll get used to it, man. Alright, I went All-Star. Racing Transformed, let's go. Okay, now can I win the race? Yes, I can. Alright, cool. So I continued on, doing a drift challenge, which was pretty easy, and my next event was another race. At this point, I was starting to get used to the game again, so this race wasn't as bad as the other two. I managed to get a lot of trophies during this race as well. I used the hot rod at the very last second, and at the end of the race, I got all of these. Oh, I got balanced already? Alright, I'll take it. Magic second. Finished 0.5 seconds ahead of an opponent in race. Okay. Oh, I got so many trophies. I got so many trophies. You got the horn. Meteor Strike. Not Meteor Strike from Overwatch, not Doomfist. As you earn stars, you'll also be able to unlock new characters and special mods called console mods for your characters as well. The mods will help me in later parts of the platinum, and of course, I'll need to unlock all of the characters for another trophy. During an event called Versus, where you 1v1 multiple racers, I got a trophy for absorbing my opponent's weapon with the glove and hitting them with it. And after finishing that event and 2 more, I found myself at the final event, which was yet another race, and it got a little hectic at times. Oh nah, bro. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Please hit her. Please hit her. It missed, bro. What the freak? Come on, bro. Okay, I won. Dang, I'm really far ahead. Okay. This game is stressful. This game is stressful, bro. Oh, we're done. Okay, Frozen Valley. We're done with that. Frozen Valley starts off with another race, but I'd like to show you how annoying the AI can be with the power-ups. Are you serious? What just happened? Okay. Are you serious? Wow.
Sonic has gone All-Star.
Oh, that's not good. Dude, of course that pops up, bro. No, bro. Come on. I lost. I lost now. The second attempt wasn't going well either. To be fair, I could have done a lot better with my stunts as well, which gave me boosts if I successfully pulled them off, but overall, this event was really annoying. At least during this attempt, I hit people 20 times with weapons. Unfortunately, I lost that one too, but the third attempt was much better. There were some annoying moments, but during the third lap, I got a huge lead, so I pretty much won right there. I also earned this trophy during it as well. There we go, finally. Shadow Step, the 10 stunt combos in a single event. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna show too many races from this point on. However, the next type of event is what I and the trophy guide would consider the hardest in the game, Traffic Attack. This event requires you to pass through 15 of these gates held up by these cars. What makes this tough is the time limit, and of course, you have to dodge these cars. The green cars simply move forward, the orange cars will move side to side, making them very easy to hit if the timing is off, and the blue cars or cop cars will track your movement to make sure they can mess you up. The gates give you time whenever you pass them, and there are also these green gates that give you time as well. You need to make sure you're paying attention at all times so you can anticipate the car's movement and move out of the way if need be. Thankfully, I only had to restart once, but don't worry, you'll be seeing this event again. I went through a few more events and I eventually made it to this race. I'm not going to show much of it, though I will say, I hated this race. But I managed to get a few trophies during this. I did a triple stunt while transforming, and did every trick in one jump and stuck the landing. I got one more trophy, which I got after this happened. No! No! What is that, bro? I don't know how I won that. I don't know how I won that. I did not deserve to win that. Why did he do all that crashing, bro? That was insane. Hey, rank B. The game was in so much disbelief that it also crashed, so I guess that's cool. But once I got the game back up, I continued through Frozen Valley, and none of the events gave me too much trouble. Plus, I got this trophy for doing a level 3 air drift. So after I finished this final race, I unlocked Scorching Skies. After beating a race on my first try, I encountered yet another traffic attack. This one wasn't that bad though. I only failed once, and I also blocked 3 homing weapons, which the cards count for, earning me another trophy. You know the drill by now. I completed more events, and I eventually encountered a new event called Pursuit. This simply requires you to destroy a tank. The tank has 3 phases. During the first one, it shoots stationary green bombs. During the second, it's orange missiles that are a little annoying to dodge. And during the final phase, it plants giant purple walls. This mission is very slow paced and not very fun in my opinion, but I will say at this point, I played way too aggressively, causing me to take unnecessary damage. I'll talk a little more about this event later. Not much else happened during Scorching Skies. There was a race that was annoying me, and I also encountered another new event called Sprint. This one requires me to beat a time set by a ghost, similar to the first game. These events will be good practice for the hardest trophy in the game later on. The final event was another pursuit, which I didn't want to deal with, so after a fail, I bumped the difficulty down to easy. I knew I was going to have to return to this event later, so I just wanted to ignore it for the time being. But after completing it, I unlocked the second to last tour, Twilight Engine. Again, you know how these work, there's only so much I can say about the same process, you know? After this ring race, which requires you to get through 3 checkpoints before the time runs out, I unlocked my A rank license. Hey, rank A, let's go. The majority of Twilight Engine was pretty chill, except for yet another race, but I sound like a broken record at this point. Just know, I desperately needed to practice this track, especially since I dropped the difficulty yet again. If I was just struggling on hard, imagine if there was a higher difficulty than this. I don't know what I'd do there. But to make up for it a little bit, I got a trophy for hitting the top 3 racers with a swarm. Thankfully, that was the final event, so now we're on to the final tour, Moonlight Park. This last tour was surprisingly easy. The only 2 events that gave me trouble were this versus event and another traffic attack, but overall, I flew through this tour. So let's skip to the final event, which was a race on one of the coolest looking tracks in the game, Race of Ages, but it didn't go the best. What just happened? What just happened? Where do I go? What? Oh no, not this side, not this side. I mean, like, okay, to the left, even though the right is a shortcut, it's such a shady shortcut. That dude fell off, oh my. Oh yeah, I forgot, this track changes. Yeah, one run it'll be air, and then another one it's this. I'm falling off, I'm falling off. Oh my goodness, dude. This is what messed me up last time. For some reason, it didn't let me through. Why didn't it work? I guess it bugged out for me then. I guess it bugged out last time. I guess it was bugs. I literally went that way. So I think that's it. Hey, they roll the credits. Yep, that's it. That is the end. Right? No, it is not.
New tour unlocked.
Superstar Showdown. This is what's next. You heard that right. I now had to do a 6th tour. Superstar Showdown is a little different than the others though, as every track in it is mirrored. So obviously, that means a left turn is now a right turn and vice versa. This doesn't make tracks more difficult since they're the same thing, but it definitely throws you off at first. But that isn't all that's added. Up until this point, hard was pretty annoying, but I wouldn't say 8 out of 10 difficulty annoying. Yeah, a lot of events were awful, but at this rate, you could probably drop the difficulty down to a 6 out of 10. However, along with the introduction of Superstar Showdown, let me also introduce you to Expert Difficulty. This difficulty adds a 4th star to every event, allowing you to be able to reach 232 stars. This difficulty terrified me. From what I heard and what I played on PC, this difficulty is very unforgiving, and you have to be near perfect in most cases. I was nervous to start my first event on it, but eventually, I grew a pair and started a boost race, and it was easy. This race was not a good example of the difficulty spike, but at least I got a trophy for completing an expert event. Hardcore. Okay, that first event wasn't that bad, so what's next? Oh, okay. This event was awful. Not only do you get less time thanks to the difficulty, but remember those gates that give you an extra 4 seconds? Yeah, those aren't here. I completely had to rely on my skill, which was not up to par. The game does give you missiles, but with the risk of accidentally destroying the cars holding up the gate, they didn't feel that helpful. I tried this event for about 15 minutes before I gave up and switched to the Versus, which was also unlocked, but that was even worse. He got the firework. And of course, I just happened to go right behind, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. I hate expert difficulty, bro. Literally just one little mistake, bro. I'm hitting random stuff. What is that, bro? Wow, the game literally just gave me a loss. Wow. Screw you too, game. Screw you too. Thank you, I love that. Literally just made stuff fall on me specifically. It just has to go on to the guy playing, bro. I didn't fail that, bro. I didn't fail. I landed, man. So why did you turn? What the? This game is stupid. Why did you do that? I didn't turn at all. No, why did that have to be on me, bro? Why did that have to be on me, bro? Just why did it have to be on my side? I ended up dropping the difficulty just to progress past that event, but the struggle continued into a race right after it. If I was going to get through Expert, I really needed to sharpen my skills and be in a better mindset, so I hopped off the game and got back to it the next day. Thankfully, the following events were modes I was pretty used to, so I was making some actual progress. I even managed to complete the new sprint event on Expert, so I could feel some improvement. For the time being, I went back to the other tours and did events I was actually confident in instead of raging at aggressive AI. Doing this allowed me to unlock the final character, Ages, or well, the final character in the World Tour. There's one more character that I'd unlock during another step. I also went back to Pursuit, where I finally learned to slow down since there's no time limit, so I could take my time to avoid the attacks. I also learned that the big red exhaust that gets revealed is a weak spot, so I saved my missiles for that. Who knew that learning how to do something actually helps you out? I did eventually hit a roadblock, which was this drift challenge. The problem was there were multiple moments of the track where you couldn't gain any extra time, and also whenever I was able to get time, I couldn't get enough. Eventually, I was able to get through it, but I later encountered another annoying drift challenge. The problem this time was I had too much speed and my precision wasn't very good. It was good that I encountered these problems though, since they forced me to actually improve on these things, which will of course help for later stages of the Platinum. After those events, things calmed down for a bit, but things can never stay calm for too long, and I eventually encountered this boost challenge. Normally, these were pretty easy for me, but this one was special. I wasn't very used to the track, so I was missing boosts and crashing a lot, but I also could not get the time down. It felt like even if I boosted as many times as I could, I still wouldn't pull it off. How are you supposed to do that, bro? How are you supposed to do that? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish it at that moment, but to make up for it, after I finished this ring race that just happened to be on the same track, I got my S rank license. Rank S, nice. Multiple events later, I made it to another ring race. I don't usually have a hard time with these, but I wasn't very good at this track, so things were different. But it didn't go on for too long because I managed to finish. What? How did I miss that, bro? I literally would have won on that one, man. The thing was right in front of me. Well, if I got that close, surely I would finish it within, I don't know, the next 2 attempts?
15 minutes later.
How? I was literally in it, bro. No, I literally was not. Ooh, I want to bash this desk so much, dude. Yeah, this took way longer than it should have. Since I was running out of easy events to do, I decided to clean up the events on Sunshine Coast. All of these were races, except one versus, and they started off well. I was even getting full boost starts now. But this wouldn't last long because the literal second race of the game was awful. Dang it. And I got hit by that. That's nice. Eat that. Where did you come from? Wow, bro. Where did he come from, bro? Thank you. Wow. Wow. Just went to 10th just like that. Wow. No, you... Oh my gosh, bro. Hope you die in your movie, Tails. How about that? I hope you die in the movie. Just restart. This is just annoying now. I don't know what was up with that race in particular, but the other races weren't nearly as annoying, and during the last one, something wild happened. Oh my goodness. No! I should not have won that. I literally did not deserve that. That was complete RNG. After that, I went on a streak of completions, including one I really didn't deserve. Oh. How did I win that? I even went in the sand. How did I win that, bro? I also finally decided to go after a bunch of races, and they surprisingly weren't too bad. However, this race I'm showing you really made me hate power-ups. Where'd you get another one from? What the heck is that? Dude, stop hitting me, bro. Could you make yourself useful, II, and hit the fool in first place? Like, dude, there's a guy all the way up there. Be useful, please. Oh my. And then my drones are so worthless. I'm starting to realize how much I hate power-ups. I even went and finished the final event of the game, which was a mirrored race of ages, and just like the first time, it was a pretty dumb race. Now, you deserve to get hit by this drone. You caused that. I'm stuck. What, like, Race of Ages is such a cool track, but that is lame. Like, I really want to like the track. I really want to like it. Like, literally, the first 3 positions all fell off the map. Anyway, I won. Like, even my AI just fell off. I went on to do more races, but these were worse than the others. The first race wasn't as bad, but the second one was far worse. All I'll say is this race took me almost 20 minutes to complete, and I was absolutely fuming during it. But after that race, I made it to the final event of Frozen Valley, a traffic attack. This sucked. It's so easy to hit the cars, and on this specific one, there are no weapons to get rid of them. I eventually swapped to Sonic with his handling mod, which was definitely the play, but I still struggled so much with this. After over 30 minutes of this mess, I had a good chance to win. Finally, bro. Oh my goodness, dude. I almost lost because that stupid cop. That was frustrating. Like, I couldn't even say a word at the end. I was just so tired. During this next race, I finally got another trophy, which was for doing a full boost start with every vehicle, and the aircraft was my final one. After winning that race and 2 more, there was one event left in Scorching Skies. I'll give you a few seconds to figure out what it is. It's pretty obvious. Locked in your guess? Cool, it's yet another traffic attack. You can tell I did not want to do these at all. This is one of the easier ones, but that doesn't really say much. This took me almost 20 minutes to get through, but what makes it easier is you can get boosts to recover from crashes and super gloves. Super gloves have infinite uses until its time runs out, so if RNG was on my side, this could give me a lot of leeway, and here's a great example of that. Perfect! I win! RNG, man, RNG, like literally just give me a bunch of gloves and crap. With only 3 tours left, I completed 2 more versus events and ended up at another race. At this point, I just wanted to be done with this grind, and I felt like I was going insane. So insane that I started to think the game was completely targeting me. Like, you're clearly doing that on purpose, like, only because I'm a human player. That's my conspiracy. Alright, that's my conspiracy theory. What just happened? I can't make this up! The game! What even is that? I ended up quitting that race and tried to go back to the boost challenge on Adder's Lair, but that was also a bad idea. No, man! I hate this, bro. I hate this track. I wasn't able to beat it then either, and it was putting me in a horrible mood, so I hopped off for the night, hoping to get this done soon.
The next day.
Alright, so it was a new day, and the first event was the Graveyard Gig Race, and I was able to win on my first try. Maybe this could be the day. However, every other event was still going to be annoying, and I got to an event I knew I'd hate. Remember this race? It was time to get it done. As you'd expect, I continued to fail. After almost 30 minutes of crashing, I knew something needed to change though. Clearly, using Metal Sonic wasn't working for me, as I couldn't survive these turns with him. I did some searching and ended up trying Amy. Amy has really good handling even with her standard class. This was the best decision I could have made. I was still messing up a little bit, but once I got to first place, I started to get used to her handling, and this is how the attempt ended. Finally, bro. I continued to use her, and I was able to beat a sprint I had been struggling with as well. However, she wasn't always the best, as I had to switch back to Metal Sonic for this versus since Amy didn't have the speed to stay in front of the other racers. But my skills were improving after all this time, so it didn't even take very long to beat the event. But neither Amy nor Metal Sonic could help me with this next event, another traffic attack. Well, I could have used Amy, but I chose to use Sonic. This was the hardest traffic attack in the game for me. The track was very narrow, it felt like there were far more cars than normal, and the gates seemed too far a lot of the time. I don't want to sit on this event for too long, but just know that I was here for almost an hour. But on this attempt, something insane happened. Oh my god, let's go! I was less than a second away from failing, dude. My confidence was at an all-time high now. I was nearing the end of one of the hardest trophies I've ever gone for. I went back to using Amy for this race, and she was great, especially for the parts where it's easy to fall off. I also decided to use her for the Adder's Lair Boost Challenge, and I don't know if it was because of her or because I was getting better, but this happened. No, dude. Oh, I was just a little higher. I could have won right there, bro. I got really close on the next attempt as well, so I was doing something right, and during the next attempt, this happened. Oh, I'm almost done with this step, bro. I'm almost done. All that was standing between me and this trophy were 3 events, and I'm sorry for glazing, but Amy was the GOAT for these. I went back to a race I struggled with at the start of Expert, and I did it on my second try. The second event was that Versus where I dropped the difficulty. The problem I had at that time was I couldn't do the turns on this track. But with Amy and her high handling, the turns were much easier, so I made it to the 5th rival with ease. Let's see how it went. I did that on my first try. I think Amy might actually be the GOAT, straight up. One more event, and it was a traffic attack. I thought this would be a very hard event, but surprisingly, it was easy. Remember how earlier in the video I said, the game does give you missiles, but with the risk of accidentally destroying the cars holding up the gate, they didn't feel that helpful. That risk is not a thing. It doesn't matter if you destroy the cars because the gate is still technically there, just invisible. So that meant I could just spam missiles as much as I wanted. So I just took every opportunity to get rid of the cars, and after 3 attempts... Yes! All stars, let's go, bro. That was the first time I've ever seen that animation before. Alright, what does this unlock? Ooh, okay. Finally, after 10 years, I completed the world tour. It still feels good today. But now that it was done, I decided to get a bunch of miscellaneous trophies before moving on to step 2. We'll just rapid fire through these, starting with doing 5 overtakes in a single drift, doing a reckless boost, getting 90% accuracy with aimed weapons in an event, hitting someone while looking backward, hitting people 10 times with backward shots in an event, freezing an opponent from 100 meters away, and finishing a battle race without losing a life. With those trophies out of the way, let's move on to step 2, Grand Prix. There are 10 Grand Prix this time, 5 being normal tracks and the other 5 being mirror tracks unlocked after completing the original 5. Just like the first game, each GP contains 4 races and you get more points depending on your position after every race. Get enough points by the last race and you win. This was going to be stressful though, because I needed to complete every Grand Prix on Expert difficulty. You already know I hate Expert races. The AI is very aggressive, and if you make too many mistakes, you might as well restart. The first cup is the Dragon Cup, and I decided to use Amy since she's clearly the GOAT. These are just your typical races that I've already talked about, so I won't show every little detail of them. However, my first attempt at the first race wasn't going well, so I decided to restart it, but I realized something. Oh, if you restart, it restarts the entire cup? Okay. So I'd have to be on my A game for the entire cup because I didn't feel like restarting because of an 8th place finish in the 3rd race. But thanks to my experience from the World Tour, these first 3 races went really well with almost no issues. But the last race wasn't going as well. This is not good. Yep. I mean, there was nothing I could really do. I couldn't go fast enough. I will definitely take an All-Star. So why did the game do that? Wow, the game straight up threw for me. And I can't restart the race either. This was a horrible way to start the 3rd lap. I had some ground to make up, so let's see if I can turn this around. What? That is actually insane. That's insane. Was that first or second? That was first! Oh! That was insane, bro. That ending was crazy. The king of speed. Let's go. I think that's expert difficulty right there. Yep, that's expert. Welcome to the fantasy zone just for beating it. Let's go. Or just for being in first place, I mean. Just a little note, I actually would have been fine just getting 7th place. Metal Sonic would have finished with 34 points at the max, so I would have had enough. I had to build tension, man. I'm sorry. The next cup was the Rogue Cup, and this cup was really easy. I had improved drastically over my time on this game, and it felt really good. There was one annoying moment though. Oh my, that's such bull crap, bro. That's bull. Also, another thing, for some reason, sometimes whenever I did stunts, even if I didn't hit anything, it would just take the boosts away. But other than that, as I said, the cup was pretty easy, and even though I finished the last race in second, I still had enough points to get first overall. So next up was the Emerald Cup. The first race didn't start off super well, but since it was the first race, I just restarted. The second attempt went much better until the third lap. See, like, dude, that's why I dislike this. I hate this area, bro. Like, you gotta actually dodge boss patterns. Like, what, bruh? Who thought that was a good idea? Why would you do that, game? Watching this back, I'm pretty sure this was my fault because I turned right for whatever reason, but whatever. Not the best start, but I continued to the second race, which even though it was on a track that I do not like, still went really well overall. I can't say the same for the third race though. I could not get past 4th place and I was constantly getting hit by power-ups and even the environment. Even though this race was going poorly, I managed to hit 2 people with 1 hot rod blast, earning me a trophy. Blast processing, like the Geometry Dash level. Yeah, so I guess the game hated that joke because 7th place. 6th place is awful, man. So I tried my best to make a comeback, but I made one of the dumbest mistakes I could have made. Dude, I'm so trash, bro. Cool, dude. Cool. Man, I can't believe I threw, bro. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to come back from that, and during the whole race, I was just dreading to see the results screen. Here's what happened at the end. Dude!
Finish. Results.
Yes! Let's go! I did not deserve that win, but I'll take it. Next up is the Arcade Cup, which was another cup that went surprisingly well. The second race had some bad moments, but the experience from that boost challenge really helped out. The following race was on Burning Depths, which also went well thanks to the experience and thanks to Amy's goated handling. The final race was on Race of Ages, which consisted of people falling off the track and poor boating skills on my part, and I finished the race in second, which didn't matter. So now we're on to the final normal cup, the Classic Cup, which consists of tracks from the first game. These are honestly some of the hardest tracks in the game because you don't have as many opportunities for stunts, and there are tons of long rows where you just won't be able to pass anyone ahead of you. Plus with the other drivers constantly crashing into me and doing stuff like this. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. It's not surprising that I didn't win any of the races. But during the final race, I did something terrible. I noticed that the other racers were falling off the track in this section, so it made me wonder if that led to a shortcut. So during the third lap, I tried it myself. That's so bad! I can't believe I just did that! Are you kidding me? I should have stuck with what I know, bro. Coliseum, but that doesn't matter. I already... At least I got a trophy for unlocking the mirror cups. Of course, losing that cup meant I had to restart the whole thing, all while I was in a horrible mood. I'm not going to show the cup again, but just know I didn't try that path again, whether it's faster or not, and I was able to do what I should have done. So now it was on to the mirror cups. Of course, these are the same tracks but mirrored, so nothing new to say about that. The first 2 races went about as well as they could, and so was the 3rd race, until this happened. No, bro, that really messed me up. Well, this was going well. Not a good race at all. That was awful. So this last race had to be perfect, but the game did not want that to happen. Can you stop, bro? Okay, dude. Dude, I think it's over. Oh, great, and your horrible driving messes me up. Why? I need the All-Star, bro. I need it more than this guy. At this point, the run was cooked. I would need a miracle to pull this off. Why would you give it to me this late? Why would you give it to me now, bro? I needed it so much earlier than that. Oh, never mind. Never mind, I won't complain. I won't complain, never mind. I'm not gonna complain. I mean, thank you, game. Thank you. Really appreciate that, game. Yep, there's my first place. Hey, Sega All-Star, let's go. The star license. I don't even know what to say about that, so I won't say anything. Let's move on to the Mirrored Road Cup. This cup started off poorly. Like the original cup, I kept losing my boosts during stunts, which I think is caused by doing the stunts too fast. I'm not fully sure about this, but watch what happened at the end. Wow. Thanks for giving him that. Thank you, game. The second race also did not go well, and I ended up finishing in 2nd. With little confidence, I went into the 3rd race. I made even more mistakes in this one, so eventually, I did this. Dude, like... No, I'm not. I'm gonna restart the entire cup. This run's cooked. 4th place, 2nd place, and I'm getting destroyed on that one. I'm cooked. That's not working. Restarting was definitely the play because I was able to finish the first race in 1st place despite some poor moments. Although, I don't know what it is with this 2nd race, but the AI really had it in for me, and I also made my own mistakes, but let's not talk about that. I ended up finishing the race in 2nd, which isn't that bad. Before I started the next race, I had to give myself a small pep talk. Okay, Marquise, remember, it's not changed, it's just mirrored. So don't do that stupid thing he did at the beginning. There's no change, it's literally just mirrored. Thankfully, I listened to my advice and played as well as I normally do on this track, though I did get hit during the 3rd lap, allowing someone to pass, but I said the AI was aggressive, not smart. You suck, you're awful. So of course, we're now on the 4th race, but not much of note happened. I mean, I completely wasted an all-star, but I ended up finishing the race in 3rd, which didn't matter since the other 2 positions weren't high enough on the leaderboard. Moving on to the Mirrored Emerald Cup, the first races were pretty standard with not much to mention. The 3rd race was back to Graffiti City though, so just like every other time I've raced here, the power-up spam was insane, so I ended up finishing in 2nd. That's so silly, like I mean 3rd. So now it was on to, this track again. Well, I didn't make the same mistake this time, but it was a tense fight against Ralph beating Gum, who seemed to be getting special treatment during this entire cup, but I was able to emerge victorious and move on to the Mirrored Arcade Cup. Honestly, despite some mishaps here and there, this was the smoothest cup so far, and I don't have much to say about it. So let's move on to the final cup, the Mirrored Classic Cup. If I could win this cup, I would earn so many trophies. As I mentioned the first time, you don't have as many advantages here since the tracks are pretty grounded, so I wasn't able to stop Danica from getting 1st place. She was my biggest op during this cup. The 2nd race was more of the same, but this strangely happened. What is that? What just happened? I was about to make fun of that guy, but then it happened to me. It also doesn't help that I was getting screwed over by the other racers' bad driving, and I just have to include this rant. That genuinely just annoys me because it's like I'm getting punished for their awful driving. I just find it stupid that I can play so well, but yet because they want to be all rowdy and crash, they want to be Jack Doherty, I get punished. My rivalry against Danica continued into the third race, but I was able to deal with her, and after having a mini fight with Ulala, I won the race and moved on to the finale. Oh, and Danica ended up getting 6th place. We smoking that Danica Patrick pack tonight. In game, YouTube, I don't mean that towards her in real life. Anyway, before my channel gets deleted, let's just show this final race.
Are you on scuffs?
I win. She had 22 points. I win. Nomad. I mean, welcome to Victory Lane. That's all of them on Expert. Gale Racer. Podium finish on everything. On Expert. Racing Hero. Podium finish in general. Takes ages because you unlock Eggman after finishing every single Grand Prix. Before moving on to step 3, I decided to get 2 more miscellaneous trophies out of the way. The first one was for getting a perfect drift score on the drift challenge, which meant that I had to stay on the drift strips at all times. And the second one was for passing every ring during this ring race as Riala or Knights. There was one more miscellaneous trophy left, but I naturally got it during the next step, so now it's time for step 3, where there was one trophy standing in my way. Yokozuna. This trophy requires me to beat all of the staff ghosts in Time Attack. Staff ghosts are times recorded by the developers that you need to beat. On the surface, that doesn't sound hard until you realize that you have to be an expert ghost on every track. On top of that, I wasn't even sure if I needed to do the mirror tracks as well, as the trophy guide says you do, but other guides say you don't. But enough rambling, I selected Sonic with the super speed mod and got to the first track, Ocean View. Before the expert ghost, there are also easy, medium, and hard ghosts to beat. That's where the 160 number comes from since there are only 40 tracks in total. I already knew this track, so I thought it wouldn't be too bad, but I only got up to the medium ghost on my first attempt, but beating my first ghost earned me a trophy. Sumo wrestled, let's go. During the next attempt, I was able to beat the hard ghost, so let's see how my real first attempt went. I actually don't think I'm gonna beat it on this one. Yeah, I'm not gonna win this. Yeah, this is where it's just gonna be really bad. This was going to be hard. You have to play perfectly to win, and this was tough even with max speed. Something that did help out a bit was saving the free boost you get for the end of a lap so that I could get extra speed at the start. But even with that in mind, after almost an hour of attempts, I couldn't do this. No matter how hard I tried, I just could not get the time. My chat and I also noticed the Ralph Ghost, who was another player. We noticed that he was getting a lot of height on this hill, and it turns out that there was a strat where you hold a level 3 boost and get some extra speed there. So I leveled him up a bit to get some more mods, but because I didn't know how the strategy works, I still couldn't get it right. Eventually, I found this guy's guide on Steam, which had tips for every track in the game, and he recommended using Vice with his console mod, so I did that and followed his driving, and after a few attempts, this happened. That strat's the go! That strat's the go, bro! Let's go! That strat was awesome. I'm gonna keep using Vice. That was goated. I decided to keep going with this guide, and this was the best decision I could have made. Now, I didn't do any of them on my first try, but in just about 20 minutes, I managed to beat the next 3 tracks. During the 5th track, I noticed something about the top player. What is that? Look at these hackers, bro! How do you manage that? I'm so glad I don't have to beat, like, the top player or something. Like, that's straight up just, how do you compete with that? That's straight up cheating. Sadly, I started to struggle again during this track, but the guide came in clutch again, and I learned some insane stuff. Number 1, you can hold boost if you constantly switch directions while drifting. This method is fittingly called switch drifting. I also learned that you can get away with so many more stunts than you think, so I could stunt off of any little ledge and be fine. With these tips in mind, once I got a good attempt, it was over. Did it. That's it. There was also another thing I learned called risk boosting or reckless boosting, which I did earlier for a trophy, and it's when you stunt before hitting an obstacle while flying, which will give you a boost. I wasn't good at pulling it off though, but it wasn't even needed for this track because it's really easy. And next up was Seasonal Shrines, which as I mentioned earlier, I was pretty used to. It still took me a few attempts to pull off, but after only about 13 minutes, I was able to get it done and move on to Rogue's Landing. I'm specifically mentioning this because remember how I mentioned there was one miscellaneous trophy left? Well, on this track, I needed to play as Vice and beat this track in less than a minute and 11 seconds. Well, it's a good thing I was already playing as Vice, and that's pretty much the time of the hard ghost, so I was easily able to do that on my first try. Vice the Legend, let's go. Now it was time to get serious, and once I did that, I was able to beat it in about 4.5 minutes. And the next track was even easier. I managed to beat it on my first try, thanks to a shortcut that I'm very surprised the Ghost didn't take, and despite some screw-ups towards the end, I still managed to get it done. So at this point you might be thinking, this can't be that hard, you're flying through these. Well, first of all, you're not seeing every attempt. If you were watching my stream while I was doing these, you'd know I spent a lot of time on these. Second of all, let me introduce you to Chili Castle. This is one of 2 tracks the guide considers to be insanely difficult. The reason for this is how insane the turns are, especially this turn at the very end. It's so easy to mess up. Due to the turns, the guide recommended switching to BD Joe because of his arcade mod having better handling than Vice while mostly keeping his speed. For the first 11 minutes, my main issue was crashing at just the second turn of the track, but eventually, I got a run where I didn't crash there. Let's see what happened next. How did I fail the stunt? I had a good start there too, bro. That was unfortunate because for the next 30 minutes, I made no meaningful progress. I kept failing so many turns, the game would also sometimes make me drift the wrong way, and I wish I had a controller cam to show you because I'm not just blaming the game. But what's worse is that I was unknowingly screwing up runs at the very start. I kept using my boost right after starting the lap when I was supposed to save it for the end of the big turn. I was only doing this because I wasn't able to use my boost before crossing the finish line for the head start since I didn't have it, but I would have had it if I wasn't wasting it. Eventually, someone in the chat suggested using Tails because of how high his handling is. That did not help. I mean, I got a PB with him, but it wasn't a good PB. Tails just wasn't fast enough. Simply put, I needed to get better at the game. I decided to end the stream after a while so that I could take some time to refresh, but once I got back on, things did not improve. For the next hour, yes, hour, I continued to fail. There was one run where I had a really good chance, but... No, bro, why did you go that way, man? Why would you do that? That was literally such a good run. Why would you do that, bro? That was about 17 minutes into my session. I didn't get close again for another 45 minutes, which is when I got another really good chance. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. How did he get that speed, bro? I don't get it at this point. A little after that, I got another close run, but the same thing happened. Like, another one. How do you get faster than that, bro? I failed for another 12 minutes before I took another break and came back with a new strategy. I found a guide on True Achievements that had its own playlist of time trials, and they used Standard Sonic. Standard Sonic has a pretty good balance between speed and handling, and since I had a video to go off of, unlike with Tails, this could work. So after a few minutes of attempts, I got this run. I fucking did it! I did it! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! I can't scream because it's 12:53 a.m. But let's go! I did it! Let's go! I'm never doing that again! I didn't think I'd do that on that attempt, bro. Let's go! My confidence was really high after that, so I decided to try more tracks, which led me to Graffiti City. As you know, this track usually sucks because of the AI, but they aren't here, so it was a lot more peaceful. This didn't take nearly as long as Chili Castle, but there was one really good run I failed that I want to show. What the okay? Why are you hugging the wall? That was literally such a good run and he just decided he wants to have sex with the wall. Okay. I also tried Adder's Lair, but I was crashing way too much and not getting great runs, so I just decided to hop off. Although, I do want to show you this crap. Okay, what just happened? What was that? So the next day, I decided to start with Shibuya Downtown since it was the only track that was just rated moderate, so I wanted to ease myself into the runs today. Honestly, I will rate this as easy. I finished it within 5 minutes. Since I was going with easier tracks, I could have gone with Adder's Lair again since it's also moderate, but judging by my experience last night, I would rate it higher than that, so I went with the next best track, Burning Depths. Surprisingly, this is rated moderate to difficult, but I would lean more towards difficult. I decided to run Sonic again since if you recall, this track is very turn heavy, so Vice would not cut it due to him only having 1 point towards handling. I struggled for quite some time on just the hard ghost, but I did eventually beat him, and then got stuck on the expert ghost for the next 40 minutes. At one point, I decided to switch to Vice but used his handling mod instead, which does have more handling than Sonic while taking a hit to speed. This didn't help at first, but what did help was someone pointing out that the ghost messes up at one point, so I should use the boost there. So I tried it on the next run, and that was so close though. That was really close. Okay. I think that's the way. I think that's it. I continued to fail, and at one point I said, honestly, I'm gonna see if I can just sacrifice a little bit of handling for more speed. So I'll do one more run with this, and then see if I can just switch to like standard and see if he has just like maybe one less handling, but one more speed. But little did I know, that last run was going to be good. Never mind! Never mind! Why should I switch when I could just beat it right there? Never mind, bro. Let's go. I decided to go back to Adder's Lair again, but this time, I guess I just needed a fresh day because I played so much better. Although, I did go out of bounds again. Oh, alright. Nice. Nice game. Nice. Well, whatever that run was gonna be, it is gone now. Get good? What do you want me to do? I did something good and the game punished me for doing it. Regardless, I was able to finish this in about 8 minutes. But then, I went on a huge loss streak. I started with Sanctuary Falls, and the biggest issue with this one is its really long turns. Especially the one at the end. I lost so many runs to it, and I was here for over an hour. So I tried Graveyard Gig, which was odd because the obstacles were still here, even though they're disabled on every other track and they're disabled in the guide. But that doesn't matter when I can't do stunts and turns properly. I also failed Egg Hanger and Sunshine Tour, and then there was the other insanely difficult track, Roulette Road. I used Aegis with his console mod for this one because he has 6 points into boosting, which is really helpful on this track as every boost needs to count since there aren't many pads and no stunt opportunities. I also ended my laps with a level 3 boost and switch drifted through the finish line so I could get extra speed at the start. The worst part of this track was the huge colored curve at the end. You can't go too fast or else you'll run into the rails or into the yellow area, which slows you down a lot, but you also can't go too slow or else the ghost will catch up. Things were not going my way and I needed another break. So hours later, I started with Graveyard Gig, this time using the achievement guide strategy. It took almost 30 minutes, but the improved handling and my improved stunt consistency allowed me to get this track done, so I moved on to a new track, Race of Ages. Similar to Roulette Road, there are lots of straight pathways with few opportunities for boosts, but they also went with the boat path instead of the air path, and this was weird because you could use the water to do some extra boosts. However, the water levels are different every time you get there, so you can't even get a consistent strategy there. I started with Sonic, but I swapped to Vice later. I tried to do stunts in the water, but I couldn't figure out the height of the waves, so I constantly failed them. I eventually decided to give up on the stunts and just drive normally, but something unexpected happened. Aww. Wait. How? How did I win? I'm not even gonna question it. I'm gonna take it. I only played that for 17 minutes, and that time easily could have quadrupled had that not happened, but my time quintupled when I decided to go back to Roulette Road. I had no idea how I was going to beat this track. I saw another guy use Eggman because of his handling, so I tried him, and it didn't work. No matter what I tried, it felt like I peaked when I got that last PB, and I couldn't replicate that. I even had a friend attempt to give his own advice.
Maybe like start on the outside, then try to like curve in a little bit. Or like turn in and then start drifting, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like start on the outside instead of drifting right away. Like start going in a little bit, then start drifting.
It was good advice, especially considering he knows nothing about the game. But alas, I still could not even beat my PB. It was getting late at this point, so after a few more failed attempts, we called it a night, hoping I would get this done very soon. Today, I was determined to get this done, or at least the normal tracks, as again, I wasn't sure if I needed to do the mirror tracks as well. Only 4 tracks stood in my way, and I started with Sunshine Tour. I used Sonic Super Speed mod as the achievement guide recommended, which is better than Vice's console mod because of the handling, and within only 5 minutes. But that's a win right there, already. Let's go. Feeling good, I went back to Sanctuary Falls next. I would consider this the 3rd hardest track in the game. I did not expect this to give me so much trouble. All I needed to do was get the turns right, but that was easier said than done, even with better handling as Sonic. It took me 23 minutes, but I finally ended up getting a good run. No! How is that not? I was in front of him, bro! I almost celebrated too, because I thought I got it. I figured it out though. We're getting this soon. Okay, but can we rewind that? I was literally in front of him. I should have won right there. But I had a point. I could definitely beat this after a robbery like that. And sure enough, another 26 minutes later, after some really good driving. That's it! That's it! Let's go! That's it! I told y'all I could do it soon, man. I told y'all. 2 tracks left. I had to save Roulette Road for last, so that left me with Egg Hanger. Similar to Sanctuary Falls, this track has a lot of huge turns and I needed to control my speed perfectly or else I hit a wall or the ghost catches up. The biggest culprit is this turn you're seeing here. If I was too far behind my PB after getting out of this, that run is pretty much over. I also had multiple attempts where I had a good chance but ended up hitting this wall. This took an hour, but after having a good lead on my PB on this run, there was a chance. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Ooh, one more! One more track. Roulette Road. With everything I've said about this track so far, you know this was the hardest track for me. There are only so many ways to convey the difficulty of this track in a fully edited YouTube video, but just know, my chat and I sat here for over an hour and a half making 0 progress. No matter what strategy I tried, character, advice from the chat, nothing worked. I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to do it, especially since at this time, I was working on a deadline, as I wanted to combine both All-Stars Racing games into one video in time for Sonic 3's release. Of course, my plans changed, but at the time, I was adamant about that release time, but with the way things were going, this was not going to happen. But then, something happened. I set a PB though. This is the strat. I set a PB. This renewed my confidence, as now I finally figured out the way. I didn't just get this to trial and error though. I was paying attention to the other player's ghost, and noticed that they switch drifted up this ramp and stacked that boost with the boost pad just ahead, which increases your boost's level. It seemed like a minor difference, but this could genuinely save the run. Also earlier, Brando and I noticed that the expert ghost got a boost on the giant curve at one point, and the chat and I noticed it again today. So with the new changes in mind, I kept pushing, even beating my PB by 1 millisecond, until I got the run. Let's go! Got the trophy! Let's go! Let's go, bro! Yokozuna, let's freaking go, bro! Let's go! Oh my goodness, dude, that's one of the hardest things I've ever done, dude. Oh my... My hands are shaking so much, bro. I'm sorry, Liam. I'm sorry. So now that the hardest parts of the platinum were done, I just had some extra grinding left to do to get my triple star license. I know it's kind of late to explain this, but the license makes up everything in the game, so this is pretty much the 100% trophy. You must complete everything on Expert, so that's the World Tour, Grand Prix, and the Ghosts, and max every character out. At least that's what I thought you had to do. You might have noticed that every trophy is tied to a sticker. Well, besides the trophies, there are many other stickers to collect as well, and I got a bunch during my playthrough. These actually contribute to the 100%, and not only do those contribute, but also the DLC as well. So instead of farming the same ring race over and over for XP, I just decided to at least beat the hard ghosts on all of the mirror tracks, including the DLC track, Outrun Bay, which was easy since I already did them on Expert, but the R1 track, I was so good that this happened.
New personal best. You're faster than Sumo.
What? I accidentally beat the Expert Ghost. I'm so good at this game, bro. I'm so good. I was confused. I'm like, wait, where's the Expert Ghost? So after going through all of the mirror tracks, I finally got my triple star license. Hey, Sega Superstar, let's go, triple star license. You would think that would be the end of the platinum, but no. There's one more step, which is getting some multiplayer trophies I had left. We'll start off with House Party of the Dead. This requires me to complete an event with 4 local players. They don't say it, but they specifically mean a World Tour event, so I got my other 3 controllers, found the ring race event, and completed it with my main controller while I let the other 3 fail. House Party of the Dead, let's go. And now it was time to boost the rest of the trophies. The main reason I needed to boost was because of the trophy Team Sonic. This trophy is for completing a 10-player race while the top 4 positions are my controllers. This is only possible if you have 3 other people in your household who know how to play the game. I don't have that. So I needed to find a person with 4 controllers and another one with 2 controllers to fill up the last 6 spots so that I could get the trophy. Naturally, while doing this, I could also win an online game and select a random character during an online game. So I made a session on PSN Profiles and found the legends Han Woody and Insane Dan, and we got to work. Once we all got situated, I selected a random character and didn't get the trophy because we needed to be in a matchmaking game, not a custom one, but whatever. I put my controllers in their positions and completed the race with my main controller, while occasionally having to stop to reposition the other ones, since the game automatically pushes trailing racers to the next lap, and eventually I won the race and got my trophy. Team Sonic, let's go, it worked. After helping Dan, but not Woody since they already had the trophies, Dan and I went to a matchmaking game to properly do the trophies, so I selected a random character again and got the trophy. Neutron! And finally, after weeks of this painful platinum, I won the race and got my final trophy. Race leader and ultimate all-star. Let's go, dude. Let's go. My hardest platinum is done. Let's freaking go, bro. It took me 31 hours to get this platinum, or maybe less since I did already have time on this account. And that is my new hardest platinum complete. For some final thoughts, this game is amazing and it was great to revisit it. This platinum really makes you get good at the game, so I've been replaying it on PC, and it feels good to rebeat all of the events with mostly no issues. But that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. Since I've now done both of the All-Stars Racing games, I will be doing Team Sonic Racing and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds whenever that comes out, so stay tuned for those. And if you ever want to see these platinums live, I stream here on YouTube every Friday through Sunday at 1 PM Pacific time, unless I'm editing a video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.